Can you combine mind mapping with memory palaces?
How do I combine mind maps and memory palaces?
I get this question so often, along with another question about how to find more memory palace options, and today we're going to answer both by showing you how mind mapping can lead to something potentially even better, an abundance of both memory palaces and newfound mind mapping skills. We're diving deep into the topic, and it all starts right now. Hello magnetic memorizers, this is Anthony Metivier from magneticmemorymethod.com. I've been using memory techniques since discovering them during a dark depression that saved my academic career. After getting my PhD in teaching university for a few years, my challenge now is to build the world's largest online memory university for strategies, solutions, and insider information to help serious students, professionals, and anyone busy with life like you use memory techniques more efficiently so they can learn faster and remember more. So if you're new here and want to join us, get started now by subscribing to this channel, enabling notifications so you don't miss anything, and if you love the memory tradition, make sure to hit that thumbs up and help me spread the good news about memory improvement and accelerated learning by sharing this one around. Now, this video is part one of a 3-part playlist on mind mapping examples, and I want to start by showing you how to use mind mapping to get enough memory palaces. Why? So that you can actually get the benefit out of combining them. If you don't have enough memory palaces to practice with, all the thinking about it in the world isn't going to help you much. You need to create them and use them. So in part 2, we'll talk about my favorite mind mapping laws, and in part 3, we'll talk about how to draw mind maps so that they serve as memory palaces from the get-go. You're going to love that one, as did Tony Buzan when he saw my take on how to do it. With that in mind, the first step I recommend for magnetic memory method purposes is to use mind maps to generate memory palace ideas. As taught by the great Tony Buzan in Mind Map Mastery, great mind mapping begins when you place a large central image that uses at least 3 colors. That's your only requirement, so breathe a sigh of relief. That's not so hard, right? In this example, I skipped the 3-color rule, but normally I obey it and find it useful. The reason I skipped it is because this simple shape represents the Parthenon in my mind. I visited it and have a vibrant memory of the trip. Your central image should be inviting because you'll be revisiting it often as you use what Tony Buzan called radiant thinking. In other words, once you have your central image, other ideas flow out of it like light radiates from the sun. Now, keep in mind in creating this image that you don't have to be a great artist. Don't try to be the next Van Gogh or waste time critiquing your artistic abilities. Don't overthink it and let your mind wander as you draw, but wander in a focused way. Mind mapping helps generate that focus. So like I said, I used the Parthenon to represent the concept of the memory palace, and I chose this due to my mental association with Simonides of Kos and stories that link the origin of the memory palace with ancient Greece. You could choose some other symbol for your central image. If you're a fan of Lynn Kelly's books like The Memory Code or Memory Craft, you might be inspired by her even earlier discoveries about this technique and choose your central image accordingly. Now that you have your central image in place, we then travel outward, creating a radiating tributary through a simple series of questions. A tributary is just some kind of drawing of a branch that flows out of the central image. Phil Chambers has a great book called 101 Top Tips for Better Mind Maps that has influenced how I draw my branches, so check it out or listen to my interviews with him by following the links in the description below. Now, as you radiate out from your central memory palace image, ask yourself the following questions. Where do you spend a majority of your time? What surroundings are most familiar to you? And what environment is the most recognizable? If you're like me, the answer to all of the above is probably home. Whether it's your childhood home, college dormitory, a beloved first apartment, or your current residence, home is a place that you know frontwards and backwards, inside and out. It could be any or all of these or something else. Whatever it is, list every home for you that comes to mind. Just that one idea of a place, that one concept of home opens up a lot of possibilities for memory palaces, doesn't it? Mind mapping out the concept of home brought to mind the homes of friends, family, and then that branched out to schools I've attended and the homes of TV families too. It's all thanks to the mind map process, so give it a try. Then, If you want to turn those choices into fully developed memory palaces, let my free memory improvement kit help. It teaches you step by step how to create memory palaces from these mind map ideas. But don't worry, if homes don't give you enough ideas, this is just the tip of the iceberg. When I saw that movies had emerged onto my mind map, I explored this option further in its own spot. I wound up thinking about movie theaters and video rental stores I've visited in the past. I've derived dozens of memory palace options this way, and I'm sure you can too. The possibilities are virtually endless for exploration, and I go through this entire mind map on the Magnetic Memory Method website. It's really easier to look at in this way, so feel free to go through each example by following the link I've shared below. Once you really take to heart the fact that simply mind mapping out even just one idea naturally leads to dozens, and start practicing the practice of mind mapping itself, leads to a natural, organic flow. What real-world and virtual movie-based memory palaces can you think of? Is your childhood home your go-to memory palace, or is it the home of your favorite aunt instead? What about the library that you spent every Wednesday at for story time as a kid? How about your family's summer camp cabin? Let me know in the comments the ideas that come to your mind for memory palaces, and if you want to get started building those memory palaces from the wealth of ideas you've discovered, visit me at magneticmerrymethod.com/YT for your free memory improvement kit. Until we have the opportunity to speak again, thanks as ever for the view. Hit that thumbs up and let's keep the conversation going down below. And until part 2 of this series, enjoy mind mapping for more memory palaces and keep yourself magnetic.